Grand Rising. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's having a positive, productive, peaceful start to your day today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High help you with that today. I also pray that He clothes us in His armor from head to toe, that He strengthens our discernment and guides our steps as we go throughout this day. Today is Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. It is 9:08 real time in my area. It's going to be another hot and humid day across the board, I think, not just in my area. So make sure you're drinking your water. If you're spending a lot of time outside, try to find some shade when you can. All right, we're going to get our morning mantra for the day. Then we'll get into our affirmations. I'm slowly learning the technology, learning how to do the thumbnails and put information in the description box and all that jazz. I took a little bit of time this morning to figure out how to do that. All right, morning affirmation. I flat out dare life to pleasantly surprise me. Because spoiler alert, it always will. All right, so embrace the ways that life surprises us each and every day. You know, going back to what we pulled yesterday, embracing the spontaneity, embracing the surprises. Trying to find the positive, even if it's a negative surprise. I flat out dare life to pleasantly surprise me. Those little surprises each and every day that make us smile, that help us get through the day a little bit easier. All right, our grief affirmation for the day. Grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness or a lack of faith. It is the price of love. I think we just got that the other day. You know, being kind with yourself, being kind to other people. We're all grieving in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a loss of a job, a loss of a relationship. We all deal with grief differently. So going back to what we got with our chakra wisdom affirmation yesterday, be compassionate, be forgiving. You never know what other people are dealing with behind closed doors. You know, offer love to others just like we want that love in return. Remembering that what we put out is what we get back. Treat people how you want to be treated, not how they treat you. All right, let's get our chakra wisdom affirmation for the day. Yesterday we got heart chakra, compassion and forgiveness. Today it's throat chakra, truthfulness, being honest with yourself, being honest with people around you. Throat chakra, hold on, I don't have my incense burner. Grand Rising, happy Tuesday. I'll be right back. Throat chakra is represented by patchouli. I don't have my lighter either. It's going to be one of those days where I'm not prepared today. Confirmation on that. We don't want any spam callers. All right. Throat chakra is represented by the scent patchouli. Shout out to Elegant Expressions Aromatherapy. That's the brand of incense that I use. But there's all kinds of other different brands out there that have the chakra incense series. These I at Dollar Tree. They're also available online. On Amazon, they have all different brands. Okay. Truthfulness. I am truthful and honest with myself. I aim to overcome any fears about speaking my truth, and I speak in a loving, considerate way. My personal empowerment comes from telling the truth and letting others know who I am. Others will be positively uplifted when they hear my truth, and I take care not to exaggerate in order to impress them. I am careful not to let my mind mislead me and in turn others. I avoid gossiping or speaking negatively about others. So being honest with yourself, being honest with the people around you, not feeling the need to wear a mask, being truthful about, whatever you're dealing with. If you're dealing with grief, if you're dealing with struggles, going back to what we talked about yesterday, and don't be afraid to ask for help. It's okay to admit that you're not okay. The more you are honest with yourself and others about that fact, the more supporting energy you welcome in. All right, now we'll get our affirmation from the Wild Offering Oracle. Embracing your truth is very important. Don't be afraid to be your true, authentic self. If you're grieving in some sort of way, be honest with yourself about that. Don't try to bury those feelings. The more you try to hide them, the more problems it will cause in your day-to-day life. Look at that. We got health. Courage on the bottom of the deck. Have courage to speak your truth. And then forgiveness on the top of the deck. We saw forgiveness yesterday with our chakra affirmation. All right, health. Allow me, divine, to be tender and accepting of my body, no matter what ailments I may have. May I always know it's doing the best that it can. Help me be a loving ally and friend to this sacred form. Taking care of your body, drinking your water, making healthy food choices. All right, and then we got courage. Just a reminder, these affirmations are on the shorts section of my page, so that you can go and screenshot them and say them for yourself if you want to. Courage is not the absence of fear, but a nudge that says, keep going. Do it. Don't worry. All will be well. You have to get quiet enough to hear it. Dear divine, may I feel your courage and your will. So have the courage to speak your truth. Have the courage to embrace all the little surprises that life sends your way today. All right, and then we got forgiveness. Forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others. Healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear divine, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. Releasing those emotions that are holding us back. Going back to our throat chakra affirmation, when we're honest with ourselves about how we feel, about whatever grief we're experiencing, about whatever part of our journey that we're on, when we stop wearing that mask and be our true, authentic self, it allows us not only to forgive ourselves, but to forgive others. All right, now we'll get our educational moment for the day with our state card. Every day is an opportunity to learn something more. Every day is an opportunity to do things differently, to be more honest with ourselves, to be more forgiving of ourselves. The courage affirmation is really lining up with the mantra that we got several days in a row. It's actually the photo that I used for the thumbnail for this live, talking about facing your dragons. Let me turn these lights down just a little bit. There we go. All right, educational moment of the day. Well, I am truthful and honest with myself. I flat out dare life to pleasantly surprise me because, spoiler alert, it always will. Embrace those little surprises that come each and every day. No matter what kind of surprise it is, try to see the positive side of it. Surprises, especially from the universe, aren't always necessarily good surprises. But a lot of that has to do with how we look at it, our perspective. New Jersey. The capital of New Jersey is Trenton. The state nickname is the Garden State. New Jersey got its statehood December 18th of 1787. The state bird is the eastern gold finch. The state flower is the purple violet. And the state motto is liberty and prosperity. Quick facts. At his laboratory in Menlo Park, Thomas Edison created and perfected many inventions, including the incandescent light bulb, telephone, and phonograph. Interesting. New Jersey. Thomas Edison. He really was a smart man. Okay, now we'll pull from the Affirmators deck. Self-help without all the self-helpiness. Helping yourself by finding courage to pursue each and every day with a positive mindset. The best way you can help yourself and others is by offering compassion and forgiveness. Have a loving heart, have a truthful heart, find the courage to do that. All right, affirmations from the Affirmators deck. Ultimate potential. Don't take it personally on the bottom of the deck. Friendliness on the top of the deck. Even if you're having a bad day, even if you're dealing with grief or stress of some kind, don't take it out on the people that come into your life each and every day. Be friendly, be kind. All right, ultimate potential. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. Tuning into this frequency, I now reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option, why would I have ever tuned into anything else? I'm looking at you, smooth jazz and talk radio. It's a picture of a giraffe up in the clouds with a rainbow with some headphones on. Embracing your full potential. Knowing that each day is a chance to try again. Each day is full of potential. Going back to our morning mantra, I flat out dare life to pleasantly surprise me. See the potential in each and every day. See it as an opportunity to do better, to love better, to embrace the little surprises that life has to offer. All right, now we'll pull from the Namaste deck, Stress Less deck. Find the little moments in each and every day that you can embrace the potential. Being honest with yourself, being honest with the people around you, offering forgiveness to yourself and the people around you, having the courage to speak your truth, to no longer wear a mask, don't be somebody that don't be what other people want you to be who you truly are. Have the courage to do that. Speaking your truth, whatever that is. Finding the ultimate potential in speaking your truth. A lot of times we hide our truth thinking that it's going to have some, negative effect on our life. But a lot of times speaking our truth can bring in loads of potential. All right. Namaste. Let it out and lengthen your day. It didn't, those just flipped over. We want one to actually flip out. Being honest with ourselves it sometimes can be very difficult, especially if it's about some kind of grief that we're dealing with. For most people, we have a tendency to just want to push that down. It's not about the destination, it's about the experience. Most definitely. It's about the journey, embracing the journey, the ups and the downs and everything in between. Life is like a roller coaster. People ride roller coasters for fun, so find the fun in each and every day. You don't need to be somewhere or have something to be happy. The experience is always more memorable than the actual destination or object you desire. If you think more about the destination than the actual journey, then you will miss out on all the lively and lovey experiences while on the way. Confirmation. Don't measure success by where you have been, but by what you have learned in your journeys. Be aware of how you quantify success. Becoming aware of your thought patterns allows you to reduce them. By reducing our thoughts, we have more time to be in the present. So don't be lingering in the past. Don't project yourself into the future. Embrace the present. See the potential in this moment. Every day that we wake up is a blessing. Every day is an opportunity to try again, to do better than we did yesterday, to embrace the little surprises that life sends us each and every day, whether that's in the form of another person, an event, a self-realization that we have. All right, now we're going to pull from the angel numbers. Number 1, focus on self first is on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. 63 on the cut. Keep the faith. Yes. Who is that? George Michael. You gotta have faith. And then Limp Bizkit actually re-recorded that song several years ago. It's an old song nonetheless, but keep the faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the ultimate potential that life offers each and every day. I flat out dare life to pleasantly surprise me today, because spoiler alert, it always will. Embrace those little surprises. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And it talks in that Namaste card about finding your happiness. Remembering that happiness is a conscious choice, not an automatic response. Have the courage to be happy every day, to speak your truth. Be honest with other people. Be honest with yourself. We did get the health affirmation. Be honest with yourself about your health. Being aware of the choices that we make and how they affect our health. Not just our, choices as far as what we're consuming in our diet, but also, the people that we surround ourselves with, the environments that we put ourselves in. That can very much affect not only our physical health, but our mental health, our spiritual health. All right, angel numbers. 2222. We have seen this one so much here lately. Stick to it. 1551. Keep your dream. I'm pretty sure we just saw that one yesterday. 6363. Keep the faith. We saw that as right as I was getting started shuffling. You also have 1155 on the bottom of the deck, self-reflection. 1414, ignite your spark. So stick to it. You know, whatever your intention that you set for the day, stick to that. Whether it's to be more truthful, whether it's to be more aware of your health, even if it's to see the potential that every day has to offer. Knowing that every day that we wake up is a blessing. Every day is an opportunity to try again, to do better, to be better, to have the courage to just live life. All right, 2222. Stick to it. Persistence, patience, progress, steadfast, goal, manifestation, and preparation. Choose a path and stick to it, making slow and steady progress. This card signifies the need for patience and consistent effort while working toward a significant goal. Grand Rising, happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a positive, productive, peaceful day so far today. Stay cool, drink your water, stay hydrated, be safe if you're spending a lot of time out there, outside. Let's see, where was I at? This card signifies the need for patience and consistent effort while working toward a significant goal or manifestation. Ensure that all aspects of your plan are organized and aligned. What path am I currently following, and how can I stay committed and make steady progress toward my goal? Review your current plans and ensure everything is in order. Take one actionable step today toward your goal and commit to making consistent progress no matter how small. So no matter what intention, no matter what goal you're working towards, stick to it. Even if you're just making small little nuggets of progress every day. You know, we talk about it here often, setting small goals to accomplish a bigger goal. You know, maybe you fell off the wagon yesterday. Maybe, you know, you got your priorities jumbled yesterday. Maybe somebody came in and kind of, I don't know why I'm seeing it this way. The movie, The Emperor's New Groove, when he says, you threw off my groove. You know, sometimes people, situations, going back to our morning mantra, the pleasant surprises that life sends our way, you know, sometimes, you know, we can get detoured a little bit, but come back today, set the intention and stick to it. All right. And then 1551, keep your dream. Dreams, focus, faith, courage, goals, and spirit. Focus on the positive and stay dedicated to your desired outcomes. It's time to invest your faith and efforts into your ideas and pursue your goals with unwavering determination. Your spirit is both beautiful and courageous. What can you do today to align with your dreams? How will you stay motivated and focused despite challenges? We talked about that the other day, you know, that self-motivation. Depending on what it is that you're working on, you know, we get discouraged. You see the number 23 everywhere. Grand Rising, good to see you, Jennifer. 23, we've been getting twos a lot here lately. And this 22 really has been popping up a lot. Okay, create a vision board or set clear goals to stay focused on your dreams. Remind yourself why these goals matter and let this motivation drive you. Trust in your courage and keep moving forward. Very much aligning with the courage affirmation that we got from the Wild Offering Oracle. You know, forgive yourself if you fell off track. Forgive yourself if, you know, if you got discouraged by something that happened. But have courage to jump back on that train and keep riding. Or roller coaster, however you want to look at it. All right, and then keep the faith. We've already talked about that this morning. You know, having faith in yourself, having faith in your spirit guides, angels, ancestors, the Most High. Hope, resilience, trust, optimism, faith, and endurance. No matter how tough things get, remember that hope always exists. Your angels are guiding you through these challenges, reminding you that brighter days are ahead. What challenge in my life requires more faith and trust right now? How can I nurture hope in difficult times? Write down 3 things you're grateful for today, even in the midst of challenges, to help restore your faith and optimism. You know, the attitude of gratitude goes a long way. The fact that we just woke up this morning and we have an opportunity to try again, that in itself is something to be grateful for. You don't have to look very far to find things to be grateful for. You know, we talk about it here often. It's those little things that we don't even, until we really just sit down and think about it. Take 5 minutes out of your day to find 3 things to be grateful for. You don't have to dig very deep for that. All right, now we're going to pull from the Celestial Insights. $1551. I'm pretty sure we've seen all 3 of those angel numbers a lot here recently. Stick to it. Don't give up. Have the courage to keep going. You know, find out what your, you know, a lot of people don't even take the time to really figure out what their true goals are. You know, set the intention to be more aware of where you want your life to go and have the courage to pursue that. Forgive yourself if, you know, maybe going back to the health affirmation, if you've been neglecting your health, forgive yourself for doing that, but jump back in the saddle and try again today. You know, whether it's drinking more water, you know, making better food choices, and remembering that your health isn't just your physical health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, your mental health. Make those things a priority. If you don't take care of yourself, don't count on other people to do that for you. It's our responsibility to keep the faith, to keep a positive outlook, to see the ultimate potential, going back to our affirmation, to see the ultimate potential that life has to offer. But we have to not only see that, but embrace it and have the courage to step out in faith to pursue our dreams, whatever that dream is. You know, it's going to be different for everybody, whether it's losing weight, finding a companion, you know, embracing what your creative strengths are and turning it into a career. It's going to be different for everybody. But have the courage and have the faith to pursue that. All right, Celestial Insights. Me too. That, you know, a lot of people that have never experienced really being alone don't understand how hard it is to keep a positive mindset and to keep ourselves healthy enough and strong enough to be able to take care of ourselves. And the older we get, the more of a reality that is. All right, Celestial Insights. I'm grateful for that as well. Even though my body is struggling here lately, my ankle is really hindering me in some way. I'm thankful that I'm still, you know, for the most part, able to function. I really just dropped like half the deck. So, all right, Celestial Insights. We got a lot yesterday from these about companionship, partnership. We even saw that in the Angel of Abundance deck as well. All right, we got 2, enlightenment and guilty. We saw guilt recently somewhere else. I don't remember which deck that was from. Admiration on the top of the deck. Or I mean on the bottom of the deck. And then surrender on the top of the deck. Guilt can hold you back. Are you carrying the weight of past decisions? Forgive yourself. Wow. Forgive yourself and move forward. Only then can you truly grow. Very much lining up with our forgiveness affirmation. Self-forgiveness is the hardest part. For whatever reason, most of the time, it's easier for us to forgive others than it is to forgive ourselves. All right, and then enlightenment. You are on the path to enlightenment, discovering higher truths. Have you noticed a recent shift in your awareness? Continue following this light. It will lead you to greater wisdom. So, embrace the opportunity to gain knowledge. And, having the courage to keep the faith and chase your dreams, knowing that as you take the proper steps, that enlightenment will come. Make sure we get it a lot. Make sure to, take the time to really analyze where you're at in your life, where you want to go, being aware of your goals, your dreams, things that you need to work on. The more time we take to really, the word that I'm getting is analyze where we're at and where we want to go, asking for that enlightenment, asking for for help using discernment on whichever direction you're wanting to go. Then we got admiration. You are worthy of admiration and respect. Have you been downplaying your value? Accept compliments and be proud of your achievements. You deserve recognition. Being proud of yourself for those little things that we've accomplished throughout our life, throughout each and every day. Even if you don't receive that from the outside world, make sure that you give that to yourself. We talk about it here a lot, patting yourself on the back for the small accomplishments that we've made. Sometimes people don't even know that we've made an accomplishment because it's a goal that we've been working on that we didn't talk to other people about. They don't even know that an accomplishment has been made. All right, and then we have surrender. Sometimes letting go brings the greatest change. Are you feeling out of control? Surrender to the flow and trust in the universe's plan. Peace will come when you release your grip. Most definitely. Just going with the flow, relaxing. Going back to our morning mantra. I flat out dare life to pleasantly surprise me because spoiler alert, it always will. Surrender to those little surprises, embrace them, be thankful for them. You never know what life will bring your way. Keep your energy open to receive whatever little surprises, whether that's in the way of another person, going back to the admiration, a compliment, or enlightenment, knowledge that may be sent your way, either through another person, a situation, whatever that may be. If we stay shut off, we really, if we stay disconnected, not only from ourselves, but the world, we really shut out a lot of opportunities that we don't even realize we're shutting out. All right, now we'll pull from the Angels of Abundance Oracle. Going back to what we pulled yesterday with the spontaneity from the Affirmators deck, embrace those moments of spontaneity. Believe you me, I definitely know how hard it is to go with the flow. I used to be a worrywart, but being stuck in that energy prevents us from being able to embrace and enjoy the little happy moments that come into our day-to-day life. Most of the time it doesn't have to be some big, huge occurrence that can bring us happiness. It's the little things in life that really make us happy, that a lot of us forget to be grateful for. And if you can really focus on staying in that energy of going with the flow and accepting what the universe sends your way, and not being so critical of yourself and of other people around you. It frees up so much mind space. So many people waste so much energy and so much mental space worrying about things that don't even matter. And if you can break free out of that mindset, it gives you so much energy to put towards the things that really make you happy. All right, angels of abundance. And I don't say that to try to give the impression that I'm saying that that's easy to do, because it's not. Especially if you're grieving in some way, especially if you're struggling in some way, shape, or form, it can be the most exhausting and the most difficult thing you ever do is to let go. But the moment you do it, the moment you just release all that built up negativity and you feel that weight lifted off your shoulders, it really just changes the way you see the world. It changes the way you look at not only your own life, but people in general. All right. Conscious consumer. Pretty sure that's the first time we've seen that one. Very much be aware of what you consume, not only like in your diet. What kind of entertainment are you consuming? What kind of energy are you consuming when you surround yourself with other people? On the bottom of the deck, visualize abundance in all forms. On the top of the deck, unlimited ideas. Conscious consumer. Let's see what that says. That's the first time we're seeing that card. You have the power to heal and to help the world with your decision to buy. Confirmation. Your decision to buy only products and services that are ethical and environmentally friendly. As a conscious consumer, you choose to invest in fair trade and organic goods. You live simply and you purchase only that which you need. I was just talking about that the other day, not only on a personal level, but as a country in general. The U.S. used to be a country of producers, and we have unfortunately flipped the script to where now we're a country of consumers, to where we depend on other countries for everything. If we give back to the idea of being a country of producers, shopping at, mom and pop shops, eating at restaurants that are locally owned and operated, not some big chain that's, owned and controlled by somebody that, you never even meet. I love eating at places like that, like where like the owner of the restaurant will come out and ask you, how was your meal? Is there anything that you need? Is there any improvements that we can make? Shopping at places where the goods are made here, or whatever your local area is. Just little things like that really do make a difference, not only in our economy, but it helps me feel better about myself when I know that my money is going to a family that lives local and it's not going to some major chain that exists in a different that's run by somebody in a different country. So being a conscious consumer, giving back to your local community, not only does that help your community, but it can help boost your own personal morale. You feel good about where your money's going. Buying products that are locally made, that are, especially when it comes to your food, stuff that is harvested locally. or better yet, growing your own. Then you don't have to worry about what kind of chemicals are on there. Then you don't have to worry about E. coli being in your salad mix or on your cucumbers. They came out of your backyard, or, maybe you don't have the ability to do that, but maybe, there's an old man down the road that has a garden every year, and I guarantee you he would appreciate your money, and you're going to appreciate that vegetable that tastes so much better than something that you bought in the store. It's not coated with chemicals. Just be aware of what you consume. And being aware of that not only is better for your own health, physical health, it's good for your mental health, and you're contributing to your community in some way, shape, or form. All right, then we got visualize abundance in all forms. God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings. And that is what you will experience. I mean, you could call that manifestation. You could call that, your thoughts have power, speaking it into existence. Your words have power. Going back, I don't remember where we saw it, where it talked about the vision board, but, maybe make a vision board of the goals that you want to accomplish, the changes that you want to make, and have the courage to embrace that. All right, and then we got unlimited ideas. Your mind is one with God's infinite mind. Therefore, you have complete access to unlimited ideas guaranteed to bring blessings. All you need to do is take divinely guided action to allow these ideas to come to fruition. So very much lining up with the other two cards that came out, especially the visualize abundance in all forms, but have the courage to do that. A lot of times we have a lot of ideas that are great ideas, but we lack the courage to truly embrace those ideas and put them into action. Don't feel guilty for not pursuing them, but at the same time, keep the faith. Keep your dream, make a vision board, make a plan, and have the courage to just do it, to put yourself out there, to step out in faith. No, it may not play out the way you imagine it will, but don't let that discourage you. Okay, now we'll pull from the Archangel of Fire Oracle. Embrace the opportunities to do something different. Don't, how does that go? Don't follow the crowd. Speak your truth. Have the courage to do that. Don't get discouraged enough to where you don't see your own potential. Going back to the ultimate potential, when you see that something has potential, even if the people around you don't agree with that, don't let that discourage you from pursuing whatever it is. I mean, how many successful business owners at the very beginning of their journey had people tell them that they were, dumb for pursuing whatever it was that they were pursuing, who is it that did the Apple? Is that Bill Gates? The computers, those people came across so many people that discouraged them and told them that they were wasting their time and wasting their money and wasting their effort. And now look, they're millionaires and billionaires. So keep the faith. I just keep hearing that today. George Michael, or Limp Bizkit. Personally, I prefer the Limp Bizkit version, but the original version is George Michael. I don't think I turned my hotspot on. Let's see if I can do that and not interrupt the live. Let's see. Only because it keeps coming up. I know it's going to give me a copyright, but over that, I don't know how to avoid that. But I see people on lives all the time that I mean, there's one stands there dancing to music, but anyway. 9:53 real time, 45:29 on the timer. Limp Biscuit, Faith. Limp Biscuit, Faith. There we go. It's having to wake up this morning. It's been a long time since I've listened to this song.
Limp Biscuit, Faith.
Yeah, you're a little late to the game. Thank you, though. I hate commercials.
I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody has got a body like me, but I gotta think twice.
Oh, look at that. Gabriel. Beautiful.
And I know all the games you play, 'cause I play them too. Oh, but I need some time off from that emotion. Trying to pick my heart apart. What it takes to show me, baby, but I'm showing you that door.
Okay. All right. We got Gabriel right out the deck. Holy Purpose. He is part of the Archangels of the White Ray. Chakra location, upper back of the head. It's called the casual chakra. Oh, wow. Look at that. Man, I wish I could show this to you guys. There is an inchworm crawling across my desk right now. It's the third one that I found. There's been one every day. There was one yesterday and day before yesterday, and they're all inside. I looked it up yesterday, but I can't remember what it means. I'm going to see if I can turn. Hold on. See him right there? That's for the last 3 days. I want to pick him up and put him outside. That's what I did with the other two. He's a little one, though. Wow. Okay, let's pull that up. I see you, buddy. Here, you want to get on my sage plant? Here, that's an actual plant. I don't know if he'll get on there or not. There you go. I've got a little sage bundle sitting on my desk that is drying. He's just like reaching up. Wow. Okay. It's things like that we really don't think to look up. But I'm here. Let's take him outside real quick. I'll be right back. I see you, buddy. I'm going to take you outside. Hold on. You're just standing straight up. Watch out, Copper. Okay. spiritual meaning of an inchworm. Persistence, patience, and incremental progress. Inchworms, with their unique looping movement, often represent the slow and steady journey of personal growth, reminding us that progress doesn't always require speed. In a spiritual sense, an inchworm can symbolize the slow but sure unfolding of one's potential, even when progress seems minimal. Persistence and patience, incremental progress, personal growth, nourishment and grounding, cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Wow. I don't even know how he got in here. Like when I found the first one, I thought, okay, it's gotten in here because I've been bringing the plants in that I've been harvesting to let them dry. And then when I found the one yesterday, I don't even remember where I found that one. I think it might have been in the kitchen. And I was like, wow, there's another one. And then now in here in my bedroom, I don't bring my plants in here. I don't have any. I mean, I have this one little sage bundle that, I mean, it's been in here for a long time. It did not come out of this. Wow. All right, so there you go. Here's your sign. Inchworms. You know, when I was a kid, you know, you'd be outside playing and they'd be hanging from the tree, you know, and you just put your hand up there and catch them and let them measure you. There's a saying about that too. Measuring you, if you find an inchworm on you, that it's measuring you for your coffin. I think that's what the old timers used to say. Anyways, there you go. Love it. Okay, Gabriel, holy purpose. And what are the odds that, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out where it came from. But it showed itself when I was playing the faith song, and then Gabriel popped out, holy purpose. All right, I'm okay. I'm done. Squirrel. All right, beautiful Gabriel is one of the most famous archangels along with Michael. Gabriel can be perceived as either male or female and is shown in this card as an androgynous figure to honor the balance of his angel's masculine and feminine qualities. Known as God's messenger, Gabriel's name means God has shown himself. He helps us discover our truth and true life path. Wow, and we did get the throat chakra affirmation, truthfulness, today. He discovers our true path and is particularly helpful to writers and those in the communication industries. Gabriel brings hope in times of hardship, accompanies new beginnings, and guides us through the veil of illusion. I recall my mother saying he once appeared to her in our house when I was a child. She heard a sound like trumpets, and when she turned around, there was a huge figure as tall as the ceiling in flowing white robes standing at the top of the stairs. She felt a sense of overwhelming joy. The angel only appeared for a minute, then it shimmered and disappeared. My mother taught me about the angels from a very young age, and she'd always help me pray to Gabriel for guidance. Still today, I feel this beautiful angel guiding and reassuring me. Sometimes I see bright white sparkles when Gabriel is near, and there's a sense of being in the flow with the universe, as though everything I touch turns to gold. Gabriel, confirmation. Gabriel can bring hope those times when you may feel all hope is lost. She tells a story there, but I'm going to skip that because this is very long. She talks about hearing a song on her headphones that let her know that he was with her. All right. You can never truly lose your purpose. And although it may sometimes seem as though you have lost your way, you might just be leveling up. The universe will move you away from any situation that is holding you back so that you can step into a much bigger role when you are ready. Gabriel and the angels will always ensure that you are on the right path. This oracle deck is living proof that Gabriel's message to me that day was correct. Ask Gabriel to bring you a sign of hope during challenging times and to help you align with your true soul purpose. Gabriel can ensure your deepest desires are fulfilled. And when you lose your way, this angel will blow his trumpet to remind you to believe in yourself. Have faith. Have faith in your dreams. Have faith in your desires. Have faith that you are capable of pursuing whatever that is. His general message, you are in total alignment with your sacred purpose. Feel hopeful. All is unfolding exactly as it should, according to the divine plan for your life. That being said, while I was reading that card, I also remembered I saw a rabbit this morning as well. I took pictures. I posted them on my Facebook, but I don't think I've posted them on the YouTube yet. But let's look up, seeing as we looked up the inchworm, let's look up rabbit as well. Spiritual meaning of rabbit. The spiritual meaning of rabbit is multifaceted, often representing fertility, abundance, new beginnings, and intuition. Rabbits are also associated with sensitivity, gentleness, and the moon. Their presence can signify a time for growth, change, and trusting your instincts. Fertility and abundance, new beginnings, intuition and sensitivity, moon association. In some traditions, rabbits are linked to the moon, representing its natural side and the hidden intuitive aspects of the self. Also represent and navigating change. I did not put the link in the description box for the Facebook page, but I will try to remember when I get done with this live to share the picture of the rabbit on the YouTube channel as well. Yeah, it was literally like right outside my window. And really right in front of my porch. And it's been, now that I think about it, I've seen it for the last 3 days too. Interesting. The inchworm and the rabbit. See, those are little things that if we don't just take a few minutes, we don't even see the correlation. But I've seen the rabbit. Now, today was the first time I was able to get a picture of it because, you know, they're very aware of their surroundings. Also, another little sign to be aware of your surroundings, people, places, energies that you surround yourself with. But, you know, rabbits are very aware of their surroundings. They're very jumpy. And so the first 2 days, I wasn't able to get it on camera. But this morning, I was able to do that. So, yeah, be aware of your surroundings. Also, you know, don't be so jumpy. Rabbits are very jumpy. Excuse me. Let me get a drink of water real quick. And then we'll pull from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. In the Gabriel card, there's a lot of white. There's a white dove. Good morning, Beatrice. I don't really know who that is, but she just sent me a message. White doves tend to represent the energy of spirit. And if you really look at this imagery, first of all, he's got a lot of writing stuff here. His quill, his parchment. He's got a sundial, which, you know, back in the day, that's how they used to keep track of what time it was. Several books on the table. I see that as knowledge, you know, embracing knowledge, seeking knowledge. Going back to the admiration from the celestial insights, see how the dove is fixing to land on his horn? It was 59:59 when I looked at the timer. Don't be afraid to toot your own horn. Be proud of yourself for the accomplishments you've made. If you're on a really deep healing journey, be proud of yourself of how far you've come on that journey. Don't wait for other people to acknowledge your potential. Don't wait for other people to pat you on the back. A lot of people don't know the journey that you're on. They don't know how hard you've struggled to get where you are. So don't depend on other people to do that. Do it for yourself. It's not arrogance, it's confidence. We did see confidence yesterday. Be confident in yourself. Be confident in your abilities. Knowing that we have those abilities for a reason, it may be difficult to learn how to apply them and how to use them properly, but that's part of the journey. Embrace that part of the journey, learning who you are and what you're good at and what you're not good at. And stick to it. Going back to our angel number 2222, stick to it. Even when you get discouraged, even when, you fall off the path, have faith in yourself, have the courage to pick yourself up, dust yourself back off, dust yourself off, get back in the saddle and try again today. Every day that we wake up is an opportunity to try again. Be grateful for that. All right. That was quick. Soulmate. Look at that. We saw that yesterday. We didn't actually get it, but we saw it. Miracle on the bottom of the deck. Impatience on the top of the deck. Was it the inchworm that talked about patience? Be patient. Even though you may only be making a little bit of progress, be patient with yourself. Be proud of yourself for the progress that you have made. And be patient. Embrace the process. A lot of times things don't happen the way we want them to or how quickly we want them to, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening. Very interesting. Last time we got this card, I saw the snails. And for those of you that weren't here for that video, the last time we got this card, I had just harvested my wild lettuce and I found like 5 different snails with my harvest. And if you look at these little shapes, they look like snails. And also notice that in this picture, his eyes are closed, but his third eye is open. In this picture, you can only see one eye, but here's another eye. So not only keeping your eyes open, but keeping your third eye, your spiritual eye open for the signs and synchronicities, whether it's snails, inchworms, rabbits, number synchronicities, whatever they are, keep your eyes open to all that surrounds you. Also, going back to what I said with the rabbit, being aware of your environment, paying attention to what's going on around you. All right, soulmate. The color red, which is associated with the root chakra, base chakra, which is located at the base of your spine. All right, rose without thorns. It is time to face my true feelings. The legend. It is time for him to leave her again, to use the script he always does at this point. Even he knows her next line. She will say, "How can you do this to me?" ? But unexpectedly, she says, "I love you." The words of the script die on his tongue. He struggles to get them out. Just a few words and he will be free. But they won't come. Suddenly, he clasps her to him. He loves her. This is the true freedom he sought. Inspiration. To enjoy the beauty of a rose, we must risk being pricked by our inner thorns. This offers a new way to live. The best incentive to change is love. Personal inquiry. What truth am I embracing? This card indicates no longer living a lie. Key ideas: speaking your truth, choosing love, freedom through transformation, resistance to commitment, an unexpected outcome, and new truths. Keywords: authenticity, treasure, and trust. Very much. Very much lining up with our chakra affirmation, truthfulness. Speaking your truth, whatever that truth is. Whether you only need to speak it to yourself, whether there's a truth that you need to speak to someone else, or just simply embracing and living in your truth. I am truthful and honest with myself. I aim to overcome any fears about speaking my truth, and I speak in a loving, considerate way. Being honest with ourselves about our desires, about maybe where areas of our life that we need to work on, whether that's physically, spiritually, emotionally. Loving yourself process, forgiving yourself for not knowing any, forgiving yourself for wearing a mask, surrendering to who you truly are. When we do all that, when we release the guilt, when we forgive ourselves, enlightenment comes. When we surrender to the journey, that's when the enlightenment comes. That's when the courage will come naturally. And it becomes easier to follow our dreams when we do that. Sometimes we have to simply be honest with ourselves about what our dreams are. Have the courage to do that. A lot of us may not even know where we want to go in life, depending on where you're at on your journey. Kind of going back to what we talked about the other day. If we don't know what we want, how is the universe going to be able to send us what we want or to point us in the direction to get what we want? We have to take the time to decide what we want. Do you want career? Do you want a family? Do you want to travel? Do you want all of that mixed in one? It's all a process. It's all a journey. Going back to the namaste, it's not about the destination. It's about the experience. It's about the journey. If we don't embrace the journey, if we don't see it for all the possibilities, going back to our affirmators affirmation, if we don't see it for the ultimate potential that it has, if we don't embrace that potential, we're going to stay stuck. And we're ultimately, if you're stuck, you're going to be unhappy. Nobody wants to stay stuck in the same place, in the same energy all the time. All right, then we got Miracle, Sun Sparkler. Integrity is what turns on the light. Wow. That makes me think of the Harry Potter, I don't remember which one it is, where Dumbledore says something along the lines of, when you're in the dark, all you have to do is turn on the light. Sometimes we are that light, but sometimes that light is spirit trying to get our attention. Sometimes that light of hope, that light of encouragement comes to us through somebody else. But when you feel like you're stuck in the light, in the dark, find that light, whatever that is for you. Turn on your own light. Know that you have to turn on the light to be able to see where you're going. But you have to be able to know where you want to go. All right. Miracle. If you notice in this picture, like in the flames or in the light, there's like an image. All right. Sun Sparkler. Integrity is what turns on the light. The legend. Darkville is a town of self-centered people. One day, Betty is given too much change after making a purchase, and she returns the extra money. A brilliant light bursts from the stump of a dead oak tree in the center of town. The citizens are bewildered by the sudden brightness, but neither question the sun sparkler nor change their cheating ways. One day, a child asks it why it came. It tells her that it shines for all that is good in the world and appears when a good deed occurs. The residents of Darkville are touched and become more selfless. Inspiration. Do you let someone in or do you pretend not to see them? You cannot shut out pain without shutting out pleasure. Kindness exists to lend magic to integrity. Personal inquiry. The essence of inspiration is integrity. Can I be counted on? Key ideas. Being a light, lighting the way for others, and coming miracles. Key words. Integrity, gifts, and reward. It's been a while since we talked about it, but when you feel like you're at a place where you're just you're in that transitional phase where, you're not where you used to be, but you're not where you want to be. And so you're kind of waiting, having to be patient, going back, talking about the inchworm. A lot of times when we're in that place in our lives, that is our opportunity to share our love, our energy, our truth, our guidance, our light with the other people around us. Embrace those opportunities. Know that it won't just benefit you, but it will benefit the people that come into your life, into your energy. All right, and then we have impatience. It hasn't been that long since we've seen this card. Electric blue moon. If I don't take care of it, it'll never happen. The legend. Eaton grows impatient, waiting for dawn. So he buys a used moon. Once it is in the sky, he steps back to see his handiwork. The moon will not stay in place unless he holds the cord. Sky God assures him that dawn will come when he lets go. But Eaton is fearful and grips onto the cord until he falls asleep and releases it. When he awakens, dawn has come and the radiant light in the sky is blocked only by his used moon. Once again, a reference to the light. Inspiration. Now is not the time to make a rushed decision. You have made your needs known. Now leave it alone. You may block something wonderful from coming to you if you are hasty. Personal inquiry. Am I jumping the gun? If I am honest with myself, am I forcing something? Key ideas. Scarcity thinking, being exhausted by your efforts, success through patience. Key words. Unfolding, revelation, and success. So going back to being patient, keeping the faith, surrender to spirit and know that, if you've made your needs known, whether to the spirit realm, to people that are actually a part of your inner circle, going back to what we talked about yesterday, not being afraid to ask for help, but also not being so prideful that we aren't able to accept the help when it is presented to us. Knowing that and accepting that it may not necessarily come in the way that we thought it would, but being willing to receive that help when it is offered to us in whatever way, physically, materialistically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever way that is. Be humble enough to ask for help and be humble enough to receive that help. Being honest with yourself about needing help. All right, now we're going to pull from the Wandering Heart Oracle. It's 1:14:44 when I looked at the timer. Visualize abundance in all forms. Knowing that it may not come in the way you expect it, but that doesn't mean that it's not coming. 1023 real time. There's your 23 of the day. Angel numbers again, 2222, 1551, and 6363. All right. Wandering Heart Oracle. Be patient while you're waiting for your miracle to come. We got Restore, number 10. Stillness on the bottom of the deck. The Fool on the top of the deck. Number 10, number 36, and number 38. It has not been that long since we saw the Restore card. Having faith that you will be restored. You know, if you're going through a transition, if you're going through a difficult time, you know, looking at the lambs, to me, this is very biblical imagery. When I saw her, I thought of Mary Magdalene. I mean, just imagine, no matter what you think of biblical scripture, can you imagine, you know, the trials and tribulations that she had to go through to be just being his mother, and then to watch his crucifixion. Not only that, but knowing that that was coming. I don't even want... I've thought about that many, many times in my life. All right, Restore. Breathe easy. Rekindle and retreat. Love is in the air. Sparks are flying again. You feel confident, full, and refreshed. You are elated from the inside out. Your heart is open to the possibility of a new love or giving a familiar love a second chance. There is no resistance. Your mind is made up. You've spent enough time meditating on definite feedback from within. You're allowing yourself to be open. You find that transparency is powerful. Vulnerability brings harmony within. Here you crave connection. You have spent plenty of time in isolation, learning about yourself and learning about others. Colorful opportunities are headed your way. Open your arms to them. Blessings are in store for you. Very much lining up with Gabriel, number 28. You know, welcome in that feeling of being restored. Knowing that you've done the work. Keep the faith. Keep your dreams. Stick to it. You are where you're meant to be. Being honest with yourself about the journey that you've made and how much work that you've done. All right, then we got Stillness, number 36. I think that's the first time we've seen this card. She's doing yoga in that, though, so I like that already. And if you notice, back here on this little shelf, she's got an incense lit. You can even see the smoke coming up from the incense. No, I cannot do that pose. Not with my... Well, I guess I could do it with my right leg, but I can't do it with my left leg right now. That would really hurt my ankle right now. All right, reclaim your time, reclaim your mind, escape the static, inactivity, and reflective. In order to be yourself, first you find yourself. In order to find yourself, you must sit in both silence and deep thought for some time as you focus your attention inward. You will grow to understand your power. You will be given the opportunity to put a name on what no longer resonates. You will show up tall and affirmed, the way Spirit requires you to. As you exemplify this new awareness, you will have no issues owning your entire being and speaking up for what you believe. You are a sovereign being. Remember, spring cleaning has arrived. You're ready for a massive purge and a sacred cleanse. Suddenly, all that you were holding on to so tightly means nothing. Wow. You take it all off and you let it all go. What was I talking about at the very beginning of this video? I love it when it comes full circle like that. Knowing that you cannot sustain makeshift appeasement any longer. You bare your soul to nature and do not have any expectations for when you will be called to carry out your mission. You practice modesty. Practicing modesty. You could take that in several different ways, whether it's with your clothing, whether it's with your expectations. All right, and then the Fool, a divine time to start fresh, counterproductive and repetition. Smirks and eye rolls are being given. You know better, and when you know better, you do better, period. This card invites you to examine your surroundings. What did I say? Oh my goodness. I said that when I was talking about the rabbit. Being aware of your surroundings. Not only like your physical surroundings, but the people that are in your environment. Ask yourself the necessary questions. Are you engaging in productive activity? Are you entertaining healthy relationships? Are you ignoring undeniable deal breakers? Are you prioritizing your best interests? Are you moving with caution? Are you bending your moral code to hold space for the unserving? Are you accommodating special needs for those who don't think twice about your comfort? Are you seeking adornment from an outside source? Oh my gosh, I love it. Are you being honest with yourself? Are you repeating habitual patterns that do not elevate you? Are you pretending to be glad for improvement? Bam! There it is. That is everything that we've talked about today. Health, courage, forgiveness, truthfulness, visualizing abundance, enlightenment, admiration, surrender, and guilty. You know, being your own cheerleader, surrendering to the truth of your environment, being honest with yourself about people, places, environments, situations that you need to walk away from. I love it. That totally just gave me a boost. All right, there you go. Taking the time to analyze where you're at, where you want to go, where you've been, what have you learned. We say it here all the time, knowledge is power, but there's a difference between having the knowledge. Ooh, I just got a little tickle on the top of my head. There's a difference between having the knowledge and applying the knowledge. But it's also important to remember that with knowledge comes, wait a minute. With knowledge comes power, but with power comes, how does that go? Well, I don't know why I can't remember that right now. With knowledge, but with power comes... Oof. I don't know why I can't think of that right now, but you get my point. Embrace the knowledge that you have. Apply the knowledge that you have. Be honest with yourself about changes that need to happen, maybe goals that you've given up on that you need to, apply yourself better to. You know, if you're being impatient with the situation, be honest with yourself about that. It's okay to accept that. You know, accepting our truth is a step in the right direction, no matter what direction you're going. You know, you got to be honest with yourself because 9 times out of 10, you can't expect other people to be honest. You have to be honest with yourself. All right, now we'll pull from the Animal Allies deck. We got robin on the bottom of the deck as we're starting, and my yard has a lot of robins out there right now. Robins are common in this area. I keep feeling a hair. There it is. I'm always shedding, but now that I'm looking at my skin, I did get quite a bit of sun the last couple days. I'm not pasty white anymore. All right. Allow your faith to be restored. Faith in yourself. Faith in the choices that you're going to make. Faith in your dreams. Whatever you need to do to feel restored, find that. Do that. Whether that's spending time in nature, spending time with friends, family, loved ones, whatever. It's different for everybody, but take the time to be restored. Find that stillness, meditation. And it doesn't necessarily have to be meditation. A lot of times for me, taking a bath really makes me feel restored, which unfortunately I can't do that right now because I don't have a bathtub. All I have is a stand-up shower. But I promise you, it won't be long until I'll be finding me some natural water to go swimming in. And that's even better than a bath. All right, Animal Allies. That's way too many. We're not going to read all those, but we will acknowledge them. Cockatoo, we just got that the other day. Condor, flicker, and albatross. Why can't I shuffle these today? What is up? We just want one. We've been getting a lot from this deck yesterday. I just want one, please. They keep bowing up in the middle. That's something new that they're doing. I'm not sure why that's happening. Maybe I'm squeezing them too tight. What was that? Silky wanted to show itself. Look at that. Robin came out. That's what we saw on the bottom of the deck as we were getting started. Ostrich on the bottom of the deck. We had that yesterday. Cardinal on the top of the deck. Spirit energy. Spirit messengers. A lot of times people mistake robins for female cardinals. That could be a message in itself. When somebody shows you their true colors, don't try to paint them a different color. See them for what they really are, not what you think they are. Don't be the fool. When you see the signs, see them. Acknowledge them. Don't try to change it. Whatever that sign is, whether it's a positive or negative. That's interesting. All right, Robin. Robin superpowers. Offering protection from storms, reinvention, releasing grudges. Wow, that lines up with our forgiveness. Optimism, confidence, sharing stories and history. Robin wisdom. Another new beginning. A fresh personal spring is always on its way. Mysteriously, it comes faster if you find productive things to do while awaiting its arrival. Sometimes there's hidden growth and opportunities in the in between. What did I say when I was saying earlier? If you're in that place where you're not where you used to be, but you're not where you want to be, see the potential in where you are at right now as an opportunity to learn or to share knowledge, share love, share energy. See, just because you're stuck in that in between doesn't mean it's a negative. See it as an opportunity. See the ultimate potential in every day. Wow. Okay. When Robin appears, prepare to begin a new chapter in your story. Note the things you'd like to change and look for new ways of seeing, doing, and being. Are you the main character in your own life? If not, why not? That very much lines up with the Fool that we got from the Wandering Heart Oracle. Are you prioritizing yourself? You know, are you accepting behavior from other people that you really shouldn't be accepting? You know, are you dimming your own light to benefit other people? Don't do that. Be truthful. Be your true, authentic self. Have the courage to do that. Don't feel guilty for doing that. Embrace the opportunity to be your true, authentic self. All right. Let your light shine bright. What is that song? Shine bright like a diamond. I used to get that song a lot. That's the first time I've gotten it in a long time. I think that's Rihanna that sings that song. I'm not a huge fan of Rihanna, but that is, anyways, that's a good message. Let your light shine bright. All right. Robin wants you to know the world is filled with spectacular wonders, including you. Your wishes can come true. Make sure you're wishing well. That's another song that's been coming up quite a bit here lately. Wishing well. I've pulled that up before. Your love is like a wishing well, kiss and tell. All right, I'm pulling it up. We've gotten that a lot here recently, or I shouldn't say recently, but over the last couple months. Yeah, there it is. It's right there in my search.
All people on Medicare who haven't claimed their spending card loaded with a lot have only 12 hours.
Blah. Terrence Trent D'Arby, wishing well. Go hug a tree. Go kiss a tree. Slowly but surely. Be patient. It's coming. Falling in love with yourself. All right. If you want to listen to the whole thing, you can go look it up. All right. The name of the song is Wishing Well. All right. Ostrich. Ostrich superpowers. Authority. Deflecting negative vibes. Staying grounded. Speediness. Ability to carry heavy loads. Ostrich wisdom. Take time to recharge your spirit, and you'll have more energy to contribute to your highest good. Spending time in nature and away from the news cycle is a solid place to start. When ostrich appears, ramp up your self-care. Don't focus on what doesn't serve your highest good. Listen to inner alarm bells, however faint they may be, and take care to avoid things that set them off. Going back to what we talked about with the rabbit, being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the people that you allow into your energy, very much lining up with the Fool that we saw. All right, Ostrich wants you to know you are not alone, and you are not responsible for holding up the whole world. You get to choose what and to whom you devote your precious energy. Sometimes we have to be greedy with our energy. Don't feel guilty for that. It's okay to love on yourself. Be honest with yourself if you need that. Forgive yourself for not doing that. Forgiveness, healing comes from acceptance. Accept the fact that if you don't love on yourself, if you don't pour into your own cup, you're not going to be who you are meant to be. Your light is not going to shine as bright as it could. All right, and then we got Cardinal. Cardinal superpowers. Romancing yourself, confidence, fresh starts, determination, emotional encounters, and deep conversation. Cardinal wisdom. Messages may come from anywhere, even from loved ones who have transitioned into the soul world. To tune in, sometimes you just need to go sit under a tree and listen. What did I say? Go hug a tree, spend time outside. We talked about it already with the inchworm and the rabbit, being aware of the signs and synchronicities that come from everywhere. Spirit can work through anything or anyone. We just have to be willing to open our eyes and see it. All right. When Cardinal appears, listen to the small voice inside your heart. What does it long to hear in this moment? What message would feel supportive to you? Repeat it out loud to yourself and see what magic happens. Cardinal wants you to know. Pay attention to the signs and omens right now. You may find meaning in something as simple as seeing a flower or looking to the skies. Trust in what makes its way to you. Yeah, trusting in the signs, synchronicities, symbols, the messages that come to you through other people, through songs, through imagery. Taking the time to not only acknowledge them, but to understand them. Going back to enlightenment, seek that enlightenment. Find the hidden messages that are around us every day, the encouragement, the support, the knowledge that they're trying to share with us. Be honest with yourself about those things. Embrace the journey. The potential is unlimited. Ultimate potential. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. Going back to the full energy. Listen to your body. If you're around certain people or in certain environments, and something that's been coming up a lot for me, which thankfully, I don't really interact with a lot of different people at this point in my life. But if you surround if you're around a certain person and like every time that you spend time with them, when you separate ways, you just always feel exhausted or fatigue, there's a reason for that. Take the time. Oh, goodness. What was I just talking? Take the time to restore your energy. Don't feel guilty for that. Don't feel guilty for taking time to restore your body, restore your health, restore your faith. A lot of us need that every day. Especially, if we are kind of forced to interact with people that bring us down. Take the time to restore your faith. Well, I'm pretty sure that was a bug of some kind that was on me. I don't know what it was, but I just killed it. My bad. Where are all these bugs coming from? I guess I need to quit bringing the plants inside. Dude, there's the inchworms. That's going to baffle me for days. Like when I saw the first one, I was like, okay, they're coming in. It got in on when I brought the plants in. Then when I saw the second one, I was like, wow, another one? How did it get all the way over here? Because that one was in the kitchen. I don't remember where I found the first one. I think the first one was actually hanging. Yes, the first one was in the living room. And like I was talking about, where they hang from the tree, it was actually hanging from the ceiling. And I like caught it on my arm and took it outside. The second one was in the kitchen. And then the one here today, anyways, that's going to baffle me for days. All right, now we'll pull from the Mary Magdalene Oracle and we'll be done for the day. Presence and beloved on the split as we're getting started. Mary, Mary, full of grace, what advice can you give us today? All right. Surrender. I am in good hands. It was, let's see, 1:41:34 on the timer when I looked. Surrender. Confirmation. We saw surrender with our celestial insights. Sometimes letting go brings the greatest change. Are you feeling out of control? Surrender to the flow and trust in the universe's plan. Peace will come when you release your grip. So surrender. Surrender to the divine. Surrender to the flow of life. All right. Page 78. I am in good hands. There's a marble statue of Mary Magdalene in the main cave at Saint Bayam in France. She's reclining with her head tilted back, her neck exposed, and her eyes closed. And yet there's no confusion that she might be sleeping. She's clearly existing very intensely in the open expanse of the universe within her. Her face exudes bliss and pure surrender. The word surrender in the spiritual context has been confused with relinquishing power over to someone else or something else that's separate from us. Surrender in Mary's gospel means letting go of the egoic desires and stories that are separating us from the radiance of true love. The soul says in Mary's gospel, quote, "What binds me has been slain, and what surrounds me has been destroyed, and my desire has been brought to an end, and ignorance has died," end quote, referencing Mary chapter 9, verse 27. This is the experience of surrender. All the 7 powers of the ego have died, and what remains is the love the soul knows completely. Love comes from within. Surrender is when we stop our constant search for love to arrive from outside of us, from someone else, or in the validation of the loved one. Wow. Or from a career or an accomplishment we think will cover us in adoration. Love comes from within. Surrender is that sweet and potent ecstasy of returning fully to the good that we already are. Surrender is never giving over, a disempowering resignation of who we are. Surrender is never a giving away of our truth. Surrender is an effort of radical trust and turning inward and releasing every egoic idea we've had of ourselves to the good that's right here within. Surrender is the bliss that Mary embodies of knowing at all times and in all places that she is in good hands. She can, at any moment, her soul calls her to, relinquish an egoic state that's oppressing her, and allow the great big unsayable love within her to rise up and inundate her. Suffuse her mind and body with the bliss of knowing again the truth of love at her core. Soul voice meditation. What does it feel like to repeat inside the heart, I am in good hands? I want to go back to where it says, love comes from within. Surrender is when we stop our constant search for love to arrive from outside of us, from someone else, or in the validation of a loved one. Going back to what I said earlier, pat yourself on the back. Love yourself. Have faith in yourself. Have the courage to love yourself despite what other people's opinions or expectations are. Don't seek external validation. If you can't love yourself, you're never going to get that love that you desire from the outside world. It's all about having the courage to love yourself. Forgive yourself for the mistakes that you've made. Forgive yourself for not loving yourself when you needed it the most. Know that your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, the Most High, they always love us. They love us even when we don't love ourselves. They love us even when we forget how to love ourselves. And a lot of times, if we listen, if we pay attention, they will guide us back. They will restore us to that version of ourselves that doesn't need that outside validation. Yeah. Grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. We all experience grief in different ways, but find that love within yourself to escape that grief and embrace the journey. Going back to the Namaste card, it's not about the destination, it's about the experience, it's about the journey. And if we don't love ourselves, it makes it that much more difficult to embrace the journey. When we don't love ourselves, we don't want to embrace the journey. We get stuck. We get stuck in that dangerous thought pattern, those negative ways of thinking that can be detrimental, not only to our journey, but to our soul. All right. As always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact that it could have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.